without changing anything about you. You don't have to dye your hair. You don't have to lose weight, go to the gym, hire a personal trainer. You don't have to buy a new outfit, buy new lingerie, whatever. You don't have to do anything. You are consumed with this desire to be pleasing. You want to constantly please the people around you, please your dominant, etc. And that's why it can be so tricky to delineate or distinguish between a healthy submissive motive and a codependent motive. So that's why I thought I would talk to you today about how to be a more attractive submissive. Who doesn't want to, one, be better at attracting the dominant partner of their dreams, but this is for you as well if you currently have a dominant partner. If you haven't already watched last week's video, my self-test for you to determine, am I codependent? Am I submissive? Where do I fall on that scale? If you haven't watched that video, I put the link in this video's description so you can go check that out. In addition to that video, I have created a 7-step course, really, to conquering your codependency once and for all. Now, if the codependent trait is taking on your partner's or other emotions as your own, like we talked about last week, the healthy counterpart to that is giving your dominant the emotional space to process their independent emotions. I cannot tell you how much this has changed my life to have a partner that does this for me, to let me explode and be fire and be passionate and be vivacious and be feisty and yell and rant and rave and process however I need to process without them taking it personally and internalizing it and then it fucking up the whole emotional dynamic. It's beautiful. My partner is so good at allowing me the emotional autonomy. He is not codependent at all. He knows, okay, she's fire. I'm going to be water for her here when she returns, but I don't have to control that emotional process. So freeing and attractive as fuck. If the codependent submissive is consumed in or finds all sense of value, pleasure, worth, etc. from their romantic relationship, the healthy counterpart to that is also possessing independent relationships, hobbies, and interests. It's really, really great as a dominant to not have a codependent submissive that's just needy all the time, that can't manage their own time, manage their own thoughts, manage their emotions. I understand submissives. You want a dominant to guide you and help you process those things. And we are here to do that, absolutely. But if you are just so needy that you can't be without us, we can't even take an hour or two to decompress, to do our own thing. If all of your activities are our activities, if all of your relationships are our relationships, no, child, there needs to be a separation and a little bit more independence that's created. Give us the chance to miss you, okay? If it's the codependent submissive that often feels compelled to fix, help, or change their partner, the healthy counterpart to that is a submissive who acknowledges areas for self-improvement without shame and focuses on consistent self-growth. The amount of peace it brings me and joy to know that the submissives in my life, my submissive counterpart, doesn't stop their growth just because I didn't command it at that moment is such a beautiful thing. You will be so much more attractive and have so much more to offer a dominant partner if you take the initiative on your own to learn, to grow, to develop, to improve, to heal. All of these things, you are going to be so much more attractive, and you're just adding things to your submissive resume that a dominant will want. If a codependent submissive sense of happiness or well-being is dependent on their partner's mood, the healthier counterpart, the attractive counterpart, is a submissive who accepts responsibility for their independent emotions and releases any perceived control over their dominant's emotions. This is a big one for me because, like we discussed last week, this can lead to micromanaging, micro-control, and a lot of passive-aggressive behavior. I, as a dominant, am very aware of your behaviors. I'm watching you. I'm watching your micro-expressions. I'm watching your energy. I'm reading your energy. I'm feeling all of these things. And if I start seeing you try to micro-control, micromanage through passive-aggressive behavior where you're actually trying to control how I feel and the speed at which I process my emotions to make yourself feel better, that is the most disgusting form of topping from the bottom, in my opinion. Now, I might be alone in that, But I'm very strict on my line between healthy submission and topping from the bottom. Everyone in my community knows mama is not a brat tamer. So that's a very strict line for me. If you as the codependent submissive are giving disproportionately more to your relationship, the healthy counterpart to that is to maintain a healthy balance of give and take. As the dominant here, I view this as so important and so attractive because I don't have to worry about you withholding valuable information. Here's what I mean. When there is a healthy balance of give and take, it means that both dominant and submissive are communicating their desires and needs within the relationship so that they can both be fulfilled. With a codependent submissive, you as the dominant are going to have to think over time if what you heard from them is actually how they feel and actually what they want, or if they just told you that, but secretly they're bitter, they're resentful, they're angry, and they're holding this against you. That should not be the case in your relationship. All of that mental and emotional energy is just going to be completely wasted when you could just be connecting and having some beautiful, sexy time together. So a mutual give and take shows me that you're going to speak up for yourself and you are going to tell me what you need on that day if you do have a special request or need extra care, etc. I won't have to invest anxious energy worrying about if you were telling me the truth or not. If it's the codependent submissive who struggles with setting boundaries or holding others accountable when those boundary lines are crossed, the healthy and attractive counterpart to that is a submissive who possesses confidence in their limits and is willing to protect their autonomy through reinforcing their boundaries. Again, this is very attractive and freeing for us dominants because of a very similar emotional mental process that I explained in the last point. We don't have to second guess you, okay? And that's the downside, the really sneaky downside that you'll fall into as a codependent is you'll get more and more deceptive. Not because you're trying to be dishonest, not because you're trying to be manipulative overtly, but you're scared. You're scared and you feel out of control. And because you're scared and because you feel out of control and because you're so terrified that we as the dominant will reject you, leave you, abandon you, criticize you, ridicule you, whatever is in your head, you withhold and you censor and you don't tell us exactly how you feel and what's really going on because of all of those factors. And then what happens? You hide and disconnection takes place. And then we have to do, again, double the time going, is that really their limit? Or are they just telling me that limit? And I'm going to try this and then shit's going to hit the fan. See what I'm saying, submissives? It makes you so much more attractive, truly. If you can take that off of our plate as a dominant and just go, yes, what I said is what I mean and it is true. It allows us to rest. If it's the codependent submissive that censors, withholds their information, just like we were talking about, for fear of upsetting the dynamic or losing their partner or whatever, the healthy, attractive counterpart to that is a submissive who chooses to trust their dominant and honestly communicate their thoughts and feelings. As a dominant, trust is like catnip. It is. Trust is like catnip, I think, to any good, proper, healthy dominant. When you get a submissive who just bows to you and offers freely their mind, emotion, will, everything to you as a gift of trust, does that not just lock you into dom space? It does me. It does me, because what that says is I have proven myself and they feel safe with me. Trust means that you've earned safety. You've created enough safety that they can let go. And that is the utmost compliment to me as a dominant. The absolute utmost compliment I could ever receive from a submissive is the compliment of their trust. So when you censor and withhold information, it dings. It hurts. Because I, as your dominant, go, what did I do to deserve that? What did I do to deserve you censoring and you withholding yourself from me and you hiding from me? I've done nothing but care for you and create safety for you and build trust for you. You see what I'm saying? Do you see how hurtful that could be to your dominant partner when you censor, withhold, and hide? But the alternative, the attractive alternative, you want to have more playtime? Trust your dominant. If they're a good, healthy dominant that has proven safety, trust consistently, okay? Offer more trust and watch your dynamic deepen in a really beautiful and powerful way. If it's the codependent submissive that finds it very easy to care for your dominant partner or others in your life, but you really struggle or neglect with self-care, the healthy, attractive alternative to that is a submissive who maintains a consistent self-care routine that benefits the body, soul, and spirit. When you do not take care of yourself, submissives, and you are on empty, you have no mental energy, emotional energy, spiritual energy, you have no sexual energy, you feel depressed, you feel worthless, you feel tired, you feel anxious, you feel overwhelmed. You think we're going to want to take you in the playroom? You think we're going to want to take you in the dungeon if you're just like, if we can see the life just draining out of you? No. No. What I like, what's really attractive for me as your dominant is to see your tank full and to shatter that tank. And by the time that you are out of my presence, you're done. You're destroyed. And you are left in this beautiful place of just having nothing left, but I get to take that from you, not your environment. So you take a gift from your dominant. You take a gift away from your dominant. When you don't take care of yourself, you're not available to them where they can play with your energy and maneuver that energy whenever they want. If you're just drained, if they're tired, you are being selfish. And selfishness is really unattractive, especially to a dominant. If you as the codependent submissive are constantly obsessing about pleasing your partner or others or being pleasing to your partner or others, the healthy counterpart, what's actually going to make you very attractive to your dominant, is to engage mindfully throughout your day with a sense of purpose and self-love. As a dominant, I have a high priority on purpose, on goals, very ambitious. Most of us dominant personalities are. So when you as a codependent submissive are so obsessed with what did they think, how did they interpret that post, how did they interpret that tweet, oh my gosh, did I lose a follower, did I gain a follower, did she block me, all of these things, if you're so obsessed with what are they, all of the outside voices, even us, even do they still love me? Do they still love me? They didn't validate me in the last 5 minutes. Do they still love me? Okay. If you're constantly obsessed with all of those things, you're not going to be mindful. You're not going to be present. You're probably not going to get shit done. And you know what? Especially if a dominant has given you tasks to do, protocols to perform on a daily basis, you better be present and you better be mindful. Because yes, by the time we get home, the time we clock out of work and those things are not done, but you are spiraling in anxiety because of social media and this and that and that. Whatever. We don't give a shit. You were disobedient. You were selfish and we don't want to. It's not attractive. Do you see what I'm saying, children? So engage mindfully. Move throughout your day with a sense of purpose and self-love. That self-love will breed confidence, and confidence is so attractive. Yeah, I want to break you down a little bit, but I have to have a place to start from. I don't want you already broken down and then there's nothing to do. I want you confident. I want you feeling good. I want you feeling empowered and strong and vivacious and all those things, so that when I want to strip that from you and break you down as you need to, at the time that you need, in the way that you need, I can do so. And finally, if you as the codependent submissive feel bitter, drained, taken advantage of, that's not really attractive at all. Really unattractive traits, quite honestly. Whereas the counterpart to that is a submissive who consistently feels gratitude, empowered, and supported. I love that. I love a submissive who looks around with joy at their life going, thank you, Master, for all you've given me. Thank you, Master, for what you've done for me. Thank you, Master, for what you've provided for me. Thank you. And they just have that sense of gratitude. It's so sexy. So you just want to pinch their cheeks and possibly, just put them over your knee. It's so cute and it's so sweet and so endearing. So gratitude is a beautiful thing, and it'll make you a more attractive person, but especially to a dominant type. Also feeling empowered, not feeling just weak and victimized and the world is out to get me and I can't take responsibility for my actions because it's everyone else's fault and you just don't understand and There's always a reason why I don't have to change, and there's always a reason why they hurt me, they offended me, they insulted me. That's gross. That's really gross. As a dominant, I'm going to beat that out of you. I'm not going to tolerate that victimized bullshit. So these are the things that without changing anything about you, you don't have to dye your hair, you don't have to lose weight, go to the gym, hire a personal trainer, you don't have to buy a new outfit, buy new lingerie, whatever. You don't have to do anything. You can just simply be more attractive, be a better submissive by just implementing some of these principles, because it will shift how your dominant perceives you too. And they're going to start looking at you like, look at them. They're growing up. They're maturing. And then your dominance options for engagement and protocols in play will expand as well. So this can only benefit you. And again, if you want access to that exclusive patron-only video where I give you my 7-step course to conquering codependency once and for all, just go to patreon.com/LXerotica now to get instant access.